Hello trade pros. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the market open and market close in futures trading to help you dictate sentiment, help you for your pre-morning market prep, and how to turn it into a trading strategy. This is incredible information. I'm going to dive deep with you. Let's jump into this video. So we're going to start out this exercise by first zooming out on the chart wide enough where we can see multiple days. If you can see 7 to 10 days of price action, that's kind of where you want to land at. The closing level is the first part of this exercise, and it's a very important level. This is where the market auction settles every day, and it settles at 4 p.m. Eastern time. This is when the stock market closes, and we call this the cash close when you mark the closing level and the closing price. Futures stay open until 5 p.m. Eastern. All right, and then reopen again at 6 p.m. Eastern for what we call the Globex session. But the most important level isn't actually 5 p.m. because the stock market closes at 4 p.m. So the cash close is the close that we're looking at, and many new traders make the mistake to just assume whatever the closes the platform gives them is the right one. You want to make sure you're looking at the 4 p.m. cash close. That's where the market on close orders get active. That's where institutions move large volume, and that is the last hour of the session, which is called the power hour for a reason. So I annotate this on my chart as PDCC, prior day cash close. And when I look at it for the importance of it in the prior session when I'm trading today. So the prior day cash close on my chart here is marked by a black line, and I've stripped all the other noise off of the chart because I want to start layering just the prior day cash close and then the open after this. So what are we looking at when we actually take a look at just the prior day cash close? Well, we have other tools to help us illustrate where value has traded based on market rotations. But what we really gain from the prior day close is the settlement price. And what we want to look at is the trend of those lines and how the market closed. So when you look at these black lines, these are the prior day cash closes that have calculated automatically and auto-charted by Sierra Chart. As you can see, in the last 3 days, the close, well, let's work our way from this candle onward, okay? We rally up and we close near the all-time high in the ES futures. Well, then we sell off, and on this day, we have a down day, a down auction, and we close near the lows. So that's a pretty big reversal in trend and price. So after we close below the lows, the next 2 days is characterized by range-bound activity and consolidation, and the closes are equal. So when you see closes around the same price and same level, this tells you it's a pretty balanced auction. And if you're starting the day here with a balanced close and the following day, you would expect this resistance to hold and the support to hold and for the consolidation to be intact. This day here, we come down and we actually find the close down near the lows. So a pretty bearish day, except that the following day, the close not only puts a mark way above that prior close, but past the consolidation as well, which is your first indication that the consolidation is broken out and now you're looking at trending behavior in the market. The next day we close higher. The next day after that, and the most recent day here on my chart, we close even higher than that. Because the market is accepting higher price and value and the close is shifting higher, these closes are telling us that the market is bullish. And the pattern that they put on the chart is very important. It works like a traditional support and resistance, but really the big benefit and differentiator here is that it works to give you sentiment to the upside, downside, or a lack thereof sentiment when they're balanced around the same area. So that's the close, and it's one of the most important things that I look at as a key level the following day after the market's closed. So let's assume this morning we're waking up, we're starting the trade. We want to ask ourselves, where was yesterday's close? And where was that close in relation to the past couple days' close? Are we starting to establish a trend? Are the closing prices moving higher? If so, it's the first look and indication that we'll be looking bullish. If it's moving lower, it's the first indication we'll be looking bearish. And lastly, if it's consolidating, then we kind of dial back our expectations, reduce our size, and we trade according to what the market has been doing. There's still opportunities, but this gives you the early look at what type of opportunities you're looking for the day session. If the closes are balanced around the same area, you're not looking to run a position as much unless you break a key level. If the closes are moving upward in relation to each other, you know that this could be a good runner day if you pick a good level and get on board. You don't have to do the same trade over and over. You can have confidence in the one you have open, take profit, and let the runner go for an extended move higher. So that's how we use the close. And next up, I want to talk about another key level, which is the open. So let's jump into that piece now. The next thing we're going to do is add the open. Now you can see the purple lines here are the open of the current day. So the open will not be at the same price as the close, because if you're starting to trade in the morning, you only have the prior day cash close and today's open to work with. So that's how that information actually comes in sync. It's not from the same day, but it does become very powerful. So what is the open? The open is the start of the US trading session, regular trading hours, RTH, some people will call it, and that's at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So when the stock market opens, that's when things start to get volatile. Now between 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning Eastern time, that's your opportunity window for day trading futures, because the European stock market closes at 11:30 and the US opens at 9:30. So that 2-hour overlap of time frame is going to have a decent amount of volatility. How do we use the open now in conjunction to the close? Well, everything we've said about the cash close is also true about the open. So if we are opening within the same price range of the last couple of days, it's more of a consolidation market. And if the open is moving higher and this open is higher than the prior one and prior 2 to 3 days, well, you're in a pretty well established bull market and you know what your job is. It's to find a good support structure level to get long into and give your runner the potential to do the work for you on an extended upward trend move. The interesting thing happens with the open when you start to look at it overnight as well. Now for this, I want to zoom in because this is not really the best thing to do on a multi-day analysis, which is what we're doing here, right? Every black marker here you could see at the bottom is another day. So this is a very stretched out, long multi-day view of the open and the close. It's nice to see for the trend, but when you're trading, you're going to want to zoom in to a little bit more intraday price action and price structure. I trade on something called the 16-tick reversal bar. It's a unique chart type and it's very powerful for charting trends, but that's going to be the topic of another video, and I'll show you why I use it, how I use it, and how it paints a way clearer picture for you as a trader in comparison to a time chart of, let's say, 1-5 minutes, etc. Because the market doesn't care about time, it cares about price and trend movement. So that's why I use a reversal chart type. Let's dive into an intraday and let's take a look at it together. Now, how do we actually use this in application? When I start my trading analysis in the morning, and I do start the day around 8 a.m., 7:30 at times, the first thing I look at is where is the close in relation to the prior couple days. And then when we get into the open at 9:30, I have an idea of the levels I'd like to get in based on many other tools. I know the patterns on order flow I'm looking for that will qualify and execute my trade, that tells me where to put my limit orders, where to put my stop. All that comes after the fact. The morning market analysis, I'm just looking at trend structure. On this day here, on May 18th, the open, the purple line, was slightly above the prior day cash close, which showed an overnight session of downward price action that then recovered, and we're opening here near the highs. Now, because the open is close to the prior day cash close, you expect to have a consolidation session. You expect some sideways movement. It's not a day to have a big runner. It's not a day to be looking for 50 plus points. It's a day to get on base and get paid. And if we should break some of the upside resistance, obviously that changes the picture because you have new prices and a new look at whether or not they'll accept and a new potential for the price to run higher. But because it's opening close to the close, this pretty much turns into a sideways session, and you have to be patient the first 30 minutes to an hour to even get the opportunity, because there's going to be some chop and noise. Now, on this day when we opened up, we see that it was way lower than the prior day cash close. The cash close is around 74.30. The open is 73.90. So we got about 35 to 40 points of advancement of the open in relation to the prior day cash close. This starts to look bearish. Why is that? Well, because overnight and leading into the open, this downside was actually accepting by virtue of the fact that we're opening down here. After the open, it's very important to see how the market reacts. First thing you'd want to look on a situation where the open is way below the prior day close, because it's a downtrend. Now you're going to start to assume with this information, I should just short the market. It's not to look at the sellers in the auction, but it's to look at the buyers. Because if we are going to go down, before the sellers get strong, the buyers are going to get weak. And that's a key point. When you're looking for a bearish start to the day, I'm actually gauging the strength of the buyers and I'm not looking as much as the power of the sellers, because before the sellers take over, the buyers are going to have to defend. And this is exactly what happens on this day. It has some bearish structure. All right, buyers took one shot, two shots to get through some resistances, but ultimately failed. And when we broke down below the open again, down we go, and we had some downside price action. On the following day, the close was below this close, so we had some bearish price action. Okay, the open was lower than the prior day open, and we had some downside price action. But now, for the first time at 9:30 here on May 21st, the open price actually exceeded the close price, and that close price was down near the lows. And this open was not only higher than the prior day cash close, but it was also higher than the prior day open. So what you're looking at here to yourself is, hey, look, we have a bullish open. I'm going to be looking for bullish momentum to the upside. The prior day cash close is going to act as a preliminary resistance, because that's where we had settlement the day before yesterday. This becomes a target. And because the open is above the prior day cash close, you're starting to think bullish sentiment for the day. I'm looking for a pullback. I'm looking for weakness to buy into, because the settlement strength has revealed itself. And when we open, you have two shots here to the downside, and you see a big extension upward, and it ended up being a bullish day. Now, this bullish day, some people try to predict with other tools, more minute things. Other people don't even have a read on the sentiment and try to day trade. And all of that is really solved by looking at two levels: the development of the prior day cash close against itself, the open relative to the prior day cash close, and that will start to give you an inward look in the market. When I set my bias and my levels, and I talk about this analysis on my morning market updates on YouTube, my analysis is based on a lot of this, and some of the comments I get and compliments are how well I pick and how structured my approach is and how well I'm able to predict the sentiment. Now, you don't want to predict where you're going to put your trade in, but it is important to at least understand the market enough to have a clear picture of where it might go with some probability. That's how I do this. I use these levels. Now, I use a lot of other information as well, but these levels are the starting point of my analysis. Let me show you a few more really quickly just to get you thinking, and then we're going to wrap up with some quick tips for you on how to use this information. So here's the last set of tools that I actually map out, and these are all of my most important levels that I track overnight for sentiment. There's more work that goes into taking a level and qualifying it into a trade. That's where I deploy order flow analysis, reading the auction. But in terms of trend levels and direction of participation, these are some of the best levels you find. So I like to map out the overnight high, which is the price from 6 p.m. Eastern time the prior day until 9:29:59, or right before the open in the US session. That creates overnight high, the overnight low. In addition to that, I like to mark the prior day high in the US session and the prior day low. So if you put these levels together, they work the exact same way as the theory I've just described to you with the open and the close. You're now just getting even more precise targeting and pullback opportunities for your analysis. Now it's not just about sentiment, it's about breaking down the market into fractals and into areas of opportunity and areas of targets for yourself. So these are all the levels that go into my pre-morning market prep and market sentiment reading and deciding the trading plan I'm going to be prepared to deploy based on what the market's giving me. The current open, the prior day cash close, the prior day high in the US session, the prior day low in the US session, the overnight high, and the overnight low. So that's 6 levels that you absolutely must chart for any market you're trading, and specifically for the ES futures. Back in the day when there were pits that traded physically, these were very important levels, and to this day, it blows my mind how many people trade without them. Here's some common mistakes traders make when applying this methodology in overall futures trading. The first 30 minutes of your trading day often is when people will do the most trades. But the first 30 minutes is not for trading. The first 30 minutes is for information gathering and allowing the dust on the open to settle, the market to settle into itself, into the trend, and to allow the big orders to start trading through, so the order flow tools start to become useful and helpful. The first 30 minutes, if you sit and wait, you're going to find your trading much less stressful, and you're much closer to the real opportunities of the day. and you're saving your mental capital to be fresh when the market actually gives you the A+ setups. Take the first 30 minutes off from trading, keep creating your trading plan, if and scenarios, and keep planning your next best trade. That's what the first 30 minutes of work are for. It's for looking at how the market is acting according to how you thought it would. It's for readjusting your levels and creating scenarios of where your next best trades are going to be. This is the information gathering window. And if the market goes up, don't feel like you missed it because you weren't waiting for a trade. You were gathering information to create an A+ trade setup for yourself. After 10 a.m., the trades are high probability. We have a little bit more of the market settling into its own auction. It's revealed enough information to make the setup worth the risk. That's what I got for you. This is just a look at how I use some of the key levels of the market for sentiment, and then what I'm waiting for and the exact time frame I'm waiting for to start doing the trades. Now in our trading community, we start trading at 9:45 in the morning on a live stream. I present the levels, the plan, and by the time we're done that, it's 10 a.m. and we're on opportunity mode and starting to seek the next best trade and the first entry for the day. All right, Trade Pros, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button and comment below. I'll get interactive with you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got great content coming out on a daily basis. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. And if you want to learn more about order flow trading, head on over to TRADEPROacademy.com or hit the link in the description to find out more about the order flow vault. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you at the next video. Manage that risk and trade like a trade pro.